Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Listen, do not fall for what I call this the eviction trap, and this really I've heard of this before. Of course, I happen to know somebody, so I've heard of this before. Let's go ahead and show this. As I've been saying, all the job eliminations, but where are the job replacement? Where's the job creation? And even people working, sometimes it's not enough. So this is what happened to this mother here on the screen. Um, this doesn't surprise me. I'm going to play this quick clip and let's have the conversation. These things do happen. When it comes to your rent, you should already know whether you paid the exact amount of the rent or whether you've paid an overage. Now, some people, because the guy told me about this, that he was doing an older gentleman, he was paying over his rent. So a credit could accumulate, and he was like, okay, that's his thing. So in case something happens, I get it. Being on a fixed income and doing little odd jobs, I totally get it. But when it comes to a place to stay, don't fool around. Anybody telling you that, oh, you have a credit, you don't owe rent, the first thing you need to go ahead and do is try to get that in writing. He said, she said doesn't work. If you're able to log in and see and let's say your rent is due and the rent is showing zero, you need to go ahead and print that out ASAP. Get a picture or something. He said, she said does not work. Number one, you know if you paid your rent, the amount on time. You know if you did that. Let's not act brand new. So either you did or you didn't. And if someone's telling you, oh, you don't owe rent from the leasing office, how you don't know if you owe your rent? You don't know the last amount you paid? Go check your bank records. You got to handle business, because I've heard about the, oh, you don't owe any rent trick. Yeah, and people say they had an overage. Again, you don't know if you paid over your rent or not. Sometimes that might be a trick to go ahead and get you out. So let's listen to this lady. I just think they wanted her out of her apartment. I really do. Maybe she and her kids. Because she's shocked to come home to an eviction notice. And obviously she feels that she's the party that has been done wrong. So here we go.
I get home today from work. I get home today and I got a 3-day notice on my front door. Like a notice to vacate. Like, what? No, an eviction notice, whatever that shit called. Which I ain't never had that shit before. So I called the rent office, they my answer. So I told my kids, I said, y'all hurry up and put y'all baseball stuff on. I'll be back. So I go to the rent office and I'm like, I walk in the door and they're like, somebody be right with you. I said, I got somewhere to go. I said, how y'all put a 3 notes on my door and y'all told me I had a credit on my account for me not to pay my rent? Like, I pay my.
So they told you had a credit on your account. You didn't know if you had the credit or not. I would have then asked for a printout. See, there's no getting over. They told you had a credit on your account. You should then ask for a printout. And you should know. See, I think sometimes this is happening because I've heard of a person having a credit. Then guess what? The credit disappears. Well, you already know what's going to happen. If you have a credit and you printed that out, then now all of a sudden it's gone. Was it applied to your rent? They would normally give you a letter. Was it applied to your next month's rent? But you can't go by word of mouth. They told me I had a credit on your account. That could be the way to get you out if it's not true. And then people thinking, they told me I had a credit and you just go on and not pay. That might be what they want you to do, because guess what? That apartment, they no longer want you to stay. So she's already said she went to the rent leasing office and they told her that she had a credit on her account.
I paid my rent for 2 years and that regular ass shit. Why the fuck would I just stop? Why would I stop paying my fucking rent right now?
Right now.
The same bitch I just talked to, she's the same one that said you don't have to pay no rent, you have a credit, you don't have nothing to worry about. She acting like she ain't never had no conversation with me. She don't know who the fuck I am. She don't remember talking to me. At the fence, I do talk to a lot of people. Bitch, you ain't talking to a lot of people about this. Ain't no way. And then on Thursday, on spring break on Thursday, you just brought a bitch to my house to show her my apartment so somebody else can move in there. So if you run there, y'all got my apartment listed as vacant. Of course, you don't think that's a fucking error? You don't think that's a motherfucking error? You showing my fucking apartment to somebody, and I still live there.
Ma'am, that's the problem. They don't want you to live there. A setup from the giddy up. I have heard about this before. That's why I said zero. They've taken you out the system. And maybe, just maybe, you thought it was a hookup. Maybe you thought it was an error. Because you know if you paid your rent or not. And I see her frustration. Gotta handle business. You know if you paid your rent or not. Then it said you showed zero. So it sounds like to me, she said it said zero, and they told her you don't have to worry about this month, and that she went on. That's what it sounds like to me. And now you see they had a bigger plan in store for thee. They want you gone. They want you gone. They told you you didn't have to pay rent, and you saw zero in there. Makes me wonder. It makes me think. My opinion, yeah, that they want her gone. And she may have thought, oh, like I said, you know if you paid your rent or not. You know if you paid your mortgage. Come on now. So it sounds like to me they told her that. She logged in and saw that, and she thought, oh, okay, well, I'm good. And then she didn't pay. Lady, ma'am, I'm sorry this happened to you, but guess what? That's what they want you to do. Yeah, that's what they want you to do. You logged in, you saw zero, they told you zero, you're thinking, so I would have asked I need a letter in writing. And then if you don't get the letter in writing, you should already know. When you logged in and saw zero, you're thinking, oh, you know if you've paid or not. So it sounds like to me they told you that. She believed them, logged in, saw zero, and didn't pay. Understand, I think that's the new trick. When they don't want you to stay. They probably can get more money from your apartment than what you're paying. There's no free lunch. There's no free rent. And my apology for the profanity. There's no free lunch, no free rent. You know if you paid your rent or not. Something like that, I would have seen it as maybe a possible trick. I would have made sure I went ahead and paid. I'm not taking a chance. Because now they've served her with that eviction notice. What if she goes, oh, now I want to go ahead and pay? Well, you know it's going to be a lot more money, right? Because they're going to have the late fees. And it's going to probably be an amount that maybe you cannot afford. Ergo, they're going to get their way and proceed with the eviction day. Don't fall for, I've heard about this before, people having a credit, then the credit disappears. But if you see this, we have to learn from the mistakes of others. Do not mistake this as, oh my gosh, I got to hook up. It's my day. I got to hook up. No, you don't. You know what if you paid your rent? And I'm thinking that she didn't, that they gave her some information, which probably is misinformation that she relied on. And now I think we know why. I think they wanted her out. She relied on that information, obviously. And all you had is word versus word, but what they have in the system. So the fact that she logged in and she saw zero, oh yeah, that tells me that they wanted her out. It makes me think that they wanted her and her children out of that unit for whatever reason. Maybe, I don't know if it's other issues going on in that community, in the rental community, or maybe they can get more money. But you know if you paid your rent or not. So if you see something like that, don't even think, I got the hookup. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go and rent free this month. They told me it doesn't work in the court of law, because in the court of law they're gonna know that you are an adult. It's very simple. Did you pay the rent? No, because they told me I didn't have to pay the rent. Did you pay the rent? No, they told me I don't see that working. What they told me, I don't see that working. But Your Honor, they told me anything in writing, and I logged in. That person may lie. And like I said, and now the person is up there laughing because the little trick has worked. The world is not a friendly place. It is not a friendly place, not at all. What did Ellie person say? Most people are no good, and I hate to tell you, that is so very true. So very true. So this, if you paid your rent. And if they're telling you that, ask for it in writing. And then if they give you the runaround, you know what's up. I would say still pay your rent. Don't give them the ammunition that they need. If you hear this, oh, you don't, I would still pay my rent. I was still, because if you pay them, I would still pay. Why? You might be just finding yourself facing eviction the next day. So that's why this has come as a shock to her. She might have thought she was getting a little reprieve. Don't go for it. Don't go for the okey doke on the rent. And this is crazy. Eviction notice. My thing is, don't they first do a 3-day notice or something? Already eviction notice. Don't leave anything to chance. This day and age, life is business. He said, she said, bump all that. And it'll cost her more. So if she wants to pay now, that's going to cost her more. Then on top of that, how will she be able to qualify in that time period to find a whole new place with an eviction on her record? Once it's on there again, a lot of times the apartments I hear that they're saying, oh, we charge background information. And what did one lady say? They'll charge that fee for a background check, but you know what they'll start out doing first of all? They'll charge you that fee, another way for them to make some money, charge the fee for the background check. But what they'll do quite often is, first thing that they may go ahead and do is check the county records. While it's free, they can check the county records and see if you have an eviction. And if that eviction is there, guess what? They're going to go ahead and deny it. But they're going to go ahead and keep the money that they charged you. Well, it's going to be 75 or 125, whatever it is for the background check. A business owner, people in business, they're always planning, always trying to think ahead. So yeah, that's one of the first things that they'll do. Just go ahead to the county website and then check and see if where you last resided, if there are any evictions listed under your name. And if they see an eviction, they're going to stop right there and go ahead and deny it. But they're going to keep the application fee and this background. They're going to keep that information. They're going to keep that fee without even having to utilize it, because they know a lot of people are getting evicted. So this here, don't go for you have a credit you don't owe. If you paid your rent. You already know. You know if you've paid it. Or your mortgage. You know if you've paid it. I logged in. You should get a printout. Ask it in writing. Again, if they tell you this, if I were you, I would go ahead and still pay. Because now look, she's facing eviction day. Let me know what you think. Let's learn from the mistakes of others. Again, I've heard of this before. And I think it's just a way to get people out. So like, oh my gosh, they say I don't owe. I got a break. It must be a system error. I'm not saying anything that's worth accounting on. Anyway, let me know what you all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. I'm out.